Hey guys, in this video series, I'm going to help you get from this. I wish I could make one of those cool split screen multi-track videos to this. In this first video, I'm going to walk you through my steps for arranging. While this isn't a comprehensive arranging lesson, I'll show you the step that I take from having just an idea to a fully fleshed out arrangement. To start arranging, we're going to need some sort of lead sheet or score to work off of. While you can buy the score or find one online, I personally recommend you transcribe it. It will just make you intimately familiar with the music you're working with. When I start transcribing, I listen to the piece at least 100 times on repeat. I just loop it over and over. I'll just loop it until it is stuck in my head. At that point, I'll go to the trumpet and I'll play the melody along with the recordings. Once I'm pretty comfortable with the melody, I'll usually go to a piano and start working on the bass and the chords. You can do this on a single pitched instrument, whatever you play, maybe saxophone, trumpet, trombone. I recommend doing this on some sort of chordal instrument though. It'll just make your life so much easier. I also understand not everyone has the time to transcribe. In a pinch, yes, you can find the music online. I still recommend transcribing is usually the way to go. It'll help your ears, and the more you do it, the faster you'll get at it. One tip, if you're using YouTube for your music, double check that the key is correct when you're transcribing it. Lots of times people on YouTube will pitch the music up or down a half step just so they don't get copyright strikes. Next step is putting together a chart outline. This step will give you a solid plan and template to work off while arranging. What is the chart outline? A chart outline is your written game plan. There's no notation involved. It's just writing out what you think should be in the music. Here I'll walk you through an example of what I put into a chart outline. The first step is I'll go through and imagine the form of this tune. Not really focusing on harmonic or melodic content, just intro, what's in the middle, and how are we ending this? Are there any cool transitions? At this point, I just sort of notate it down on this piece of paper. Next, I'll go through and I'm just sort of imagining in my head what will be a cool, what are some cool musical ideas. I'm using the Traverse Town from Kingdom Hearts video that I made as an example for how I make a chart outline. This is the time to think about what instruments will be playing what sections, what kind of cool transitions you might want, how you think you might be orchestrating it. Remember, this is only a game plan. You don't have to follow this, but this gives you a nice template to work off of. Now that the chart outline is done, we go to the next important step, either putting it on paper or a music notation software. I use Sibelius, so I'm just going to say Sibelius every time I'm talking about notation software. If you use Finale or Dorico, just imagine I'm saying that. I'll take the form from the chart outline and put in Sibelius. This sort of gives me a skeleton of a score for me to work in. I can easily see each section laid out in front of me. It's not as imposing as just seeing a blank score in front of you. Once I have my form all notated into Sibelius, I'll sit down either at a piano or with a trumpet. I'll go through each section, usually 8-bar phrases, and see what I wrote down and come up with a cool musical idea based on that. Whether it's melodic, harmonic, orchestration. At this point, all I'm trying to do, take my game plan and turn it into a cool musical idea. Here's a quick example of what the piano reduction looks like to the Kingdom Hearts video. Here, I'm assigning the flute to the highest voice up on top. The melody is in the clarinet. The accompaniment is in the trumpets. Let's take a listen and hear what this sounds like. Now that I have a finished piano reduction, it's time to finally orchestrate. A simplified definition of orchestration is assigning instruments to the music that you've written. Usually you want to aim for instruments being in their most comfortable range. For me, I mostly play trumpet related instruments, so the range is very is usually pretty set on what I can do. Let's take this 8 bars from my piano reduction and see how I orchestrated it. Now let's hear what it sounds like fully orchestrated. That's the steps I take when it comes to arranging for my videos. This wasn't necessarily a deep dive into arranging, but just a broad overview of the steps I take to make an arrangement. If you would like me to do a more in-depth explanation of how I'm arranging, let me know in the comments down below. If you're enjoying this content, don't forget to like and subscribe. That wraps up this first video. In the next video, I'll talk about recording. I'll talk about what equipment I'm using, what software I use. If you're interested in that, please check out that next video. Thank you everyone for watching the video, and I will see you next time.